Back in the office. Welcome back. Hello. Welcome back to Madison K on the Trend. Here doing a makeup tutorial that everyone's dying to see, I'm sure. So, first, we're just going to jump right into everything, but I will pull back my hair with a Louis Vuitton ponytail, because why the fuck not? Let's do a little small one. This is not going to be a cute angle right now and whatever, but we just need to get some hair out of your face, so. Okay, let's just do that. So, we're going to start with moisturizer, and if you don't have a good skincare line, you should all be using Zoe Skin Health because it's medical and bomb, and it's not the shitty makeup you're gonna go, or skincare you're gonna go buy for like $15 at Marshall's. It's not working, girlfriend. Pass that up. We're just gonna put some of this on. So now, I am going to start off with my Forever Dior Matte Foundation. I'm using shade 2W, and this is my favorite foundation on the whole planet. And I'm applying it with a 56 brush from Sephora, and like it's the Sephora brand. They actually have great brushes for anyone that doesn't want to go to MAC and buy all their expensive ass brushes, but honestly, they're still kind of expensive, so I don't know about all that. Okay, and then I'm just going to go, excuse me, phone call. And I don't even know who it is. Sorry, one of my boyfriends, it's killer out here. Okay. Okay, anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and blend in. And I honestly, some people get real technical with it, but you'll notice that I don't use a crazy amount of brushes or like switch a million times. This eye look is going to be a little bit, or I guess this whole makeup look is more like natural because I have eyelash extensions on, so I'm not doing like eyeliner and a full strip lash or anything like that. But we'll get there. Okay, so now that I have that all rubbed in, I really don't do anything crazy, like I said, with the motion of brushes. I kind of just go in like a circular pattern, and then when I'm like under my eye, I try to lift up more. It's not good to drag your face down. We'll stay wrinkle-free as long as we can, especially by the help of Youthology. So that's the guy I go to for Botox. Anyway. Now I'm going to put on concealer, and I'm using the Hourglass, I think it's their, I don't know if it's called Airbrush Concealer. I think it's just Hourglass Concealer shade Beach, bitch. So, super creamy. It's actually my favorite concealer I've ever used. I know a lot of people are a super big fan of NARS, but I feel like NARS can like dry out a little bit, especially in these winter months where your skin's extra dry. So I just go ahead and apply under my eye, and I try to lift up and kind of follow through slightly. And then I take it on the side of my nose to kind of get a contour going. And I'm going to do that on both sides. And then I'm going to take it on my bridge of my nose. I really don't do anything too crazy, and this is just an easier way for me to contour. And then a little bit on my chin. Some people add it to like the middle of their forehead too, which I think is good, but I kind of take the extra product from my beauty blender and just kind of bring it up from the bridge of my nose. So then I'll go through and blend it out with my beauty blender that is extremely used, I know. But everyone knows that a used beauty blender is better than a fresh one because it sucks getting fresh brushes or fresh beauty blenders when there's no product on it, because then I feel like it takes the product off your face that you already put on. So now I just go and tap in this motion, and I try to bring it up. And just make sure you really blend all of this out. Okay. Okay, so now that I have all that blended out, I am going to go in with my Hourglass Veil setting powder. I kind of tap it to get the powder to the bottom. And I'm taking a beauty blender again, a different one though, because I like one for powder and one for cream. And then I put this right under my eye. And setting powder basically is going to really brighten you up where you need to be brightened, especially under your eye. Nobody wants dark circles. And then it also will help like catch any fallout from your eyeshadow, because I always apply my eyeshadow after. Some people do their whole eye routine first, and like I should try it, but I've tried it in the past and I just do not like it. But I know that's kind of the thing to do, so I might have to try it. So I'm gonna apply this, like I said, under my eye. And then I do the same thing, like kind of following where I put my concealer. I'm gonna try to get it on the sides, squeeze my beauty blender and get it on the sides of my nose. And like I said, I'm trying to bring it up in here. And then I'm also gonna take it and get a good amount on it to kind of contour my face. And make a really crisp line. And you're definitely going to look crazy in the meantime, but you want your face to really set and let it bake. The only baking that I do, honestly. I'm so dead. Okay. Mm-hmm. And snatch that nose up, bitch, because everybody's out here looking like they got their nose done because they know how to contour it. I'm still working on that, but we will get there. Okay, so now that I look like a clown with this stuff on my face, I'm just going to let it sit there because you just need to let it soak in a little bit and grab where it needs to grab. But in the meantime, I'm going to do my eyebrows. So I use Benefit eyebrow pencil, and it's in shade 3.5. Benefit has been my favorite. I know everybody's a big fan of Anastasia too. I used to use that. I think they're both great, but we're going to use this one today. So I take this, whatever, I don't even know what you would call this, the spoolie thing or whatever, and brush up my eyebrows a little bit. And I try not to make my eyebrows super defined. Like all I use is the pencil instead of using like a cream, so they're not too dark, especially because I have lighter hair. So I try to kind of take my brush, and to make my eyebrows look more symmetrical, I start at the bottom and kind of make a line, and I just kind of work my way back. But I don't do this, like, I leave the front alone, because when I go in the front of my eyebrow, I'm only going to do brush strokes straight up. So I'll do this first, and I'm just kind of really outlining and making my eyebrow just look a little bit more defined, nothing crazy. And then when I'm just done doing that, I'm going to take the front of it, and I'm literally just going up in these motions, like almost brushstroke motions, to make it look really natural. And then I take this end and brush up after to like keep blending the product out so it doesn't look too dramatic. You know when you're doing your eyeliner and you're like late and it needs to be perfect? That's kind of what it feels like doing this video, because it needs to be good and you're like, fuck. So that's funny. Or when your lash glue won't stick, that's the worst. You might as well not go out. Okay, so now that I got my eyebrow pencil on, I'm just going to seal it with the 24-hour brow setter by Benefit also. And I just take a little bit of this and I really just brush it up on my eyebrows to make the shape of it good and for it to all stick together and set in right. Okay, so now since I still have my setting powder on and my eyebrows are done, like I said, I have eyelash extensions on, so I don't go in and do this like crazy eye look. I keep it extremely simple. So all I'm doing is taking the Too Faced Born This Way, the Natural Nudes palette, and the M505 brush by Morphe, and all I do is put the color nude in my crease, like just kind of define my eye and like break it up a little bit, but that's literally all I do on the top of my eye. And I just kind of rub it in my crease and then bring it out a little bit, make your eye a little bit more defined. Okay, so now that I have my arch done, I'll make it a little cute today, but I literally hardly do anything, like I said. I'm going to put Shimmering Pearl. I literally just use the pad of my finger, and I'm just going to stick it right at the front, not putting anything under. They're super sparkly pigmented colors, but it'll just give the eye a little bit something. It just makes it like a little shimmery and a little cute, you know. And for anybody that doesn't know like what palette you should get when you want more natural looks and just use more neutral colors like browns, this is the palette to get. Okay, so now that I have that on, I always go under my eye and kind of just make a shadow. I use this Morphe M213 brush. It's super small and it just like lines under well. Like I said, super simple, not making it crisp really or anything. I'm just kind of like rubbing it in and making it a little bit messy. And I'm going to use the color Maple in the same exact palette. So I literally just go right under my eye and I just kind of rub it out. I feel like it just gives your under eye a little bit more definition. Okay, so now that I put that bottom on, I do it like a lighter brown. If you want to make it a little bit more dramatic, you could go in with a darker brown and put it in the corner a little bit. I want to keep it more natural today. And also, like I said, like usually I would put eyeliner on now and lash strips. I'm a big fan of Ardell and Lily lashes. Natural, I would do an Ardell wispy lash, and then for Lily lashes, my favorite style is Miami. So there's different options, but Lily lashes are definitely a little bit heavier. So after that, I am going to rub off this setting powder now. And I take this fan brush, which we'll come out with, a little bit later. But I'm just going to take it and kind of brush right where I put my baking powder. And nothing heavy, just really lightly brush. And then when I get it from under my eye, I just brush it up and out. And I pull up. You're really getting all your excess baking powder off and just kind of pushing it in a little bit. So now after messing with my eyes, of course, I have to brush my lash extensions, which I get done at the Beauty Confidential in Sugar and Falls, and her name's Julia, and she's amazing. I love her. And I would not go to anybody else for Okay, so now I'm going to go in with a little bit of powder contour, and I use Too Faced Cocoa Contour. They don't have this palette anymore, which makes me so upset because I literally don't know what I'm going to use after this. It's my favorite palette ever. But I mix the two brown shades on an angled brush and just go right in above my cheekbone, or I guess on my cheekbone. And like I said, I love this palette because it's just easy. It's not this heavy cream contour that is like hard to blend out or pick up other products. I've had issues using cream contours and like picking up my foundation underneath. So I haven't gotten into figuring it out how I like that on myself, but that's also an option if you want something more dramatic. But like I said, I'm just using this. It's so easy to use and natural. What I have liked to do too that makes your contour look better is when I'm pulling it up, I try to go right under my cheekbone where I want my face to lift up the most and like almost pat it in and brush up like that. Now I use literally the same brush. Like I said, I don't use a ton of brushes and try to make it too complicated. And I use the pop of light in that underneath where I baked. Just real quick. And then I use light cocoa right under my eye to keep it nice and bright. Okay, so as if I wasn't contoured enough, obviously I have to put on bronzer to make it even more dramatic. So I'm using Marc Jacobs bronzer, and I'm obsessed with this one. And I use a MAC 140S brush. It's such a big fan and like so easy to blend. And this product goes a long way. So I'm gonna copy over where I did my contour. And the best part about all these brushes is that they don't make these like crazy lines. So I feel like the whole time I'm just like blending out and it just makes you look better. And then I'm going to take it and put it on the top of my forehead and around my face because everybody wants a smaller forehead. And then I'm going to go around my jawline. Okay, I'm going to take that same bronzer I just used, and I'm using a Kylie brush. It doesn't have a number on it, so I'm not sure which one this is, but it's like fluffy and a little angled. I like it to try to contour my nose a little bit. I like the fact that it's bigger and fluffy because it doesn't make it, like I said, so distinct because I don't want to like create lines. So I literally put the tiniest bit of product and go on the sides of my nose. And you kind of like bring it up like to right under your eyebrow and follow the bone. And I just do that on both sides. I think that this is like a good beginner nose contour. And then I put a little bit of product right at the top of my nose. Now I'm going to use some blush to put some color back in my face, and I'm going to use NARS Dolce Vita. It's one of my favorite blushes, and it's a little peachy pinky, natural, doesn't put too much in. It's just a good shade all around. And I pop it right on my cheekbones and pull up a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to go and spray myself with the Mario, I don't even know how to say his last name, Badescu, I have literally no clue, but it's the rose water spray. I know it's very popular, I'm sure a lot of people use it, and I actually use it as like my setting spray because it's just a big bottle of it. It works just like everything else, and it helps like all my makeup melt together, so spray it all over. While that dries, I keep my skin a little bit damp And then I wait till it dries a little bit, and when it's still dewy, I like to go ahead and put my highlighter on so it sticks a little bit better. So the highlighter I'm going to use is Anastasia, the Amrezy highlighter. It's super bright. It looks like this. And then I know this brush is from Ulta. It's literally their highlighting brush. I'm pretty sure it's their brand, so it's easy to use. And I pat this in like on the high points of my face, so like the top of my cheekbone right next to my eye, and I always keep it angled and, like I said, keep bringing up. Then I'm going to take the same brush and I kind of just brush it on the bridge of my nose. I do a little bit of highlighter right on one side so it catches in pictures. On the top of my lip. And on my chin where I put concealer, but super lightly. Then I take another brush. This one's Morphe M321. It is super tiny, and I just use it to go on the arch of my eyebrow. It kind of separates between your eyeshadow, makes your arch look better, and defines a little bit. So I just put a little bit right in between there. After you do that, if you're still wanting a little pop of shine, take the same brush with the highlighter and put a little bit on the inner corner of your eye because it helps brighten up a little bit. Now I'm going to take this Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion, and I just kind of finish off by, after putting highlighter and blush on, like get that contour back where I want it and make it set right where I need it. So I'm done with my face, and all I'm going to do is add some mascara underneath my eye and put on some lipstick. But first, I like to add some chapstick or Aquaphor, whatever you use to moisturize your lips before putting lipstick on. I like a glossier lipstick. I don't want it to be too matte because I feel like my lips look more dried out then. So Aquaphor is my best friend. I put it on, and while that mushes in, I'm just going to do Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara under my eyes. After putting the mascara on under my eyes, I'm actually going to take another brush that I'll let you know about down the line, and what is this called? It's KKW's brightening powder. I put it under my eyes because I really like having a bright under eye. I really don't like bags or anything like that. So I take a little product and literally brush it on right under my eye. And it looks like so white, so you would think that it would look funny, but it does not. It goes on so smooth. And it keeps it light and bright right where I want it. I also feel like it helps for anyone that has lines under their eyes where they feel like their foundation really sets in, or you're always having lines. I feel like it buffs them out a little bit. And then I'm going to finish off using KKW Beauty lipstick and lip liner, and I'm using shade 3 lipstick, and the lip liner is Classic Iconic Liner, and she has my favorite lipstick and liner ever, so that's literally all I use. Okay. Now that the lipstick's on, I'm literally just finishing off with the Radiant, I don't even know, I think that's what it's called, Radiant by KKW Beauty also. I think it's a part of her So Fire collection. And all I do is put it in the center to make your lips look a little more poppin', because who doesn't want that? What a difference. Okay, so this would be it, but I feel like this is good for everybody because you do not have to be like a makeup expert to do any of these things. And it's a more natural look. It didn't include lashes or anything. So like I said, you can add them or just put on mascara if that's what you're comfortable with. But this is my bronzy, glowy favorite look, all nudes, because that's what I like to do. And it is good for every day. So you could go out, go to dinner, go to the club, go to your friend's house. You could do whatever the fuck you want. Oh, she got her hair down. She is looking like a bad bitch. Bronzy, glowy, cute, can't go wrong. So if you're interested in any of the products that I used today, I will drop them below and you could go get them at Sephora or online or on their websites or whatever you want to do. But I will list everything and the shade below. So that's what works for me.